Hi all, this is Venu Rakesh. Today we'll be discussing about the different steps, all the steps involved in a GenAI project. So the first step would be data ingestion. In every AI or data science or GenAI project, data is very important and it needs to be ingested. So the data can be in PDF format, Word document, JSON, images, audio, video, and so on. So we will be ingesting all this data into the ecosystem that we want to work in. Next comes the data preparation. So once the data is ingested, we can't use this raw data into the LLM models, the large language models. So it needs to be prepared accordingly. As per that, we will be extracting the data. So from PDF and doc, we will be extracting the text data using document intelligence. From images, we use Azure AI Vision, and from audio and video, we use AI search service. So these are the different tools and services that I've taken. These are from Microsoft Azure. Similarly, there would be tools and services corresponding to GCP, AWS, and other platforms as well. Just to be simple and for making the understanding better, I've included the real-time tools and services that we use in this pipeline. After text extraction, we will do the chunking. Chunking is the process of splitting the bigger data into chunks of small words, small sentences, like splitting it into say 200 or 300 words chunk. If we consider a document which is 500 pages, it will have lakhs of words in it. So for our model to search for the answer in such a big document, it would be very difficult. That's the reason we perform chunking. And indexing in simple words can be said as uploading these chunks into the search platform. In case of Azure, it is Azure AI search. So we will be uploading these chunks along with the metadata corresponding to those chunks into the Azure AI search. That is indexing. Then comes training, and this is the important step, most important step in the entire flow. Of that, whenever we have the organization specific knowledge base, then it is very important to have RAG approach. RAG stands for retrieval, augmentation, and generation. So one thing is this particular video is only for the overview of the different steps involved in the GenAI project. In the upcoming videos, there'll be a series of videos with respect to GenAI project. And in the upcoming videos, there'll be separate video corresponding to data preparation, training, output response, evaluation, and so on. And at the end of this series, there'll be a video in which I'll be demonstrating the entire flow using the Python code. So yeah, so for now, it's like an overview. RAG stands for retrieval, augmentation, and generation. And this is more significant when we use organization specific knowledge base. And the prompt engineering, this is the key to instruct LLM on how the answer should be. And so that is called prompt engineering. As part of that, we will be writing multiple prompts. This again depends on the application use case that we are working on. So query enrichment is like when the user gives an input, the LLM might or might not understand it very clearly. So what we do is we enrich the user input so that LLM can understand it better. That process is called query enrichment, and the prompt that we write for that functionality is called query prompt. And the answer is like exact answer that we want. How, what exactly are we expecting, and how the formatting should be, and if we need any other additional sources like citations and all, we can specify it in the answer prompt. Follow-up question, I'll explain this in the response in the next block. So hyperparameter tuning. So every AI model or LLM will have their own parameters for for it to function. So there are multiple parameters that we can tune for as per our use case, as per our application. So some of them are top temperature, top K, and chunk size. Again, as I said, I'll be explaining about each of them in the upcoming videos. Next comes the response, and the response that we get in case of Azure is from Azure OpenAI. And this response comprises of these five parts. One is the answer that we have configured using the answer prompt. Next is the citations. Citations are like when we give an input and when we get the response. So these response comes from one of these documents that we have ingested. And so these citations are, it specifies from exactly which document did we pick that answer from. So that is citations. Next is source. For example, if we are writing a chat GPT, a custom LLM for, say, ABC company. So the source corresponds to whether the answer came from the knowledge base of ABC or whether it has taken from the vast knowledge base of OpenAI, the internet information that he has, that it has. So it will be clear. Citations and sources specify, and it makes us reliable that okay, we got the answer from this source, from this document. We can go and check whether this answer is really present in that document as well. And the follow-up question is like I have told over here, we write the follow-up prompt. So follow-up question is like at the bottom of the response, we will ask, after providing the response, after providing the citations, sources, we will ask the user, okay, since you have asked this question, do you want to know about these questions as well? It will recommend the user that he wanted to ask, know about these questions as well. We can understand simply, we can like it can be an analogy to Amazon products. When we buy a product, Amazon will come up with the recommendations. The people who bought this product are have also bought these products. So that kind of recommendation is this follow-up questions. Feedback survey is like once the answer is given, we wanted to know if the user is satisfied with that or not. So that way we will be asking user the feedback survey as well. Next comes the evaluation. Now we have got the responses. So once we got the response, we will be storing the chat history. Chat history is nothing but the user input and the responses of the chatbot, LLM response, and the survey response. Just now I've said that we will be taking the feedback survey from the user and we store that response in the Cosmos DB. And we have got the responses, but we need to see how to improve those responses. And that is, we do that using the chat history and survey responses. So in case of LLM response, there are multiple metrics to evaluate this response, like context precision, context recall, answer relevance. These are just like some of them. There are many others. Based on the application, we can pick the appropriate metrics. In addition to that, there is one more important thing called prompt injection. So prompt injection is like the process of prompt injection is like the user can come in and give a malicious prompt instead of his user, in his user prompt he can inject a malicious behavior so that our model can reveal the confidential information, and it behaves unexpectedly and so on. So analyzing the prompt injection also is very important. And then the latency of the model, how much time is it taking to give the response of how much time is it taking for a response. So that is latency. We will be evaluating all these, and again as I said, there are multiple such things. Based on the application and the use case, we'll be picking the relevant ones. Next come the survey responses. These survey, so we'll be taking those responses and we will be doing the sentiment analysis. How much of those survey responses correspond to positive positivity and how much they are negative. And based on the if there are any negative reviews, we will be analyzing those negative reviews using the text analytics, and will be understanding what are the words they are using and what improvement they want, what improvement the user wants, and we can go and improve our product accordingly. Next is the rating analysis. Will be providing him 5 stars, and based on his selection, we'll get that. And we'll also based on that, we'll understand how many are giving 5 stars and so on. We will analyze that as well. And the bug is very important because user is expecting some functionality and he's not getting that. So that can be considered as a bug. And in the feedback survey, if he mentions that, we will take that and we will try to fix it. Enhancements are like user is satisfied with the existing functionality, but he wants more additional features in our product. So if there are many such requests regarding one feature, we will consider implementing that. Yeah, so this is the overview of the GenAI project. As I said, we will be uploading the series of videos comprising each of the steps in this end-to-end flow. So that's it for now. Jai Hind.